beyond what's already budgeted, you need to make a case. But you're not just doing legwork to persuade others to support your efforts. You're trying to figure out the best way to capture an opportunity or solve a problem. Developing a case will force you to generate and evaluate ideas in a disciplined way. For that reason, success doesn't necessarily mean getting a yes. It means enabling your leadership team to make a wise investment decision. A business case addresses the question, what happens if we take this course of action? Not, why is this a good idea? If the answer doesn't demonstrate that the benefits outweigh the costs, or that the results align with the company's strategy, you haven't failed. On the contrary, you've saved your company from making a poor investment. Let's look at a couple of fictional examples that make this point. Jim, a brand manager, had an idea for a product that would help his mid-size media company compete against larger rivals. His boss asked him to develop a business case, so Jim talked to customers, researched competitors, and looked at several alternatives. He worked with colleagues in finance, marketing, and sales to project revenues 10 years out and calculate ROI. His initial calculations showed promise for the new product, but his risk analysis revealed that if just one competitor got to market first, his company's market share would take a huge hit. During a quarterly review meeting with senior managers, Jim presented a well-researched, clearly articulated business case that incorporated both his original estimates and a worst-case scenario. They said the product looked like a good opportunity, but they agreed with Jim that it felt too risky, so they didn't fund it. Now consider Catherine, a VP of IT at a manufacturing firm. Her boss asked her to put together a business case for a new inventory management system. The managers of the company's 6 plants had been clamoring for this for more than a year, saying that they didn't have enough visibility into one another's inventory levels. Catherine traveled to the plants to learn more about what each one needed the new system to do. She then met with several vendors to review off-the-shelf options and discuss what customization might be required. After getting rough cost estimates, she worked with each plant manager to project how much the new system would speed up fulfillment times, and then calculated the savings over the next 5 years. She presented a well-researched, clearly articulated business case to the CFO, the CEO, and her boss, the CIO. They gave her approval to select a vendor, develop an implementation plan, and cost out the system in detail. So, who did a better job, Jim or Catherine? You might be tempted to say Catherine because her project won approval and moved to the next stage. But ultimately, both succeeded. They both helped senior managers make an informed decision. Not gaining support for a project after you've devoted time and energy to it is never fun, but as long as you've presented a well-constructed business case, it's okay, and sometimes desirable, to get a no from the powers that be. Even if you've persuaded senior managers not to approve your project, you'll have earned their trust by showing how carefully you've thought it through. The first step in helping your company decide whether or not to invest in your idea is understanding what goes into a business case. Section 1. Prepare. Chapter 1. Know the basics of making a case. No matter where you work or what type of idea you're pitching, you should follow the same basic process for any business case you develop. I'll briefly outline it here to give you a sense of the whole before delving into the individual steps in later chapters. Here in Section 1, Prepare, you learn how to put yourself in the right frame of mind. Don't even think about constructing a logical argument yet or wrestling with the numbers. It's much too soon for that level of detail. Instead, imagine you're telling a story. The story starts, as all good ones do, with a problem. This is the business need you're trying to solve. For example, are customers complaining about a particular product feature? Is finding